I'm going to be reflecting on a 60 minutes general English lesson with a group of 10 IELTS candidates. They're B2 level, aged between 20 and 30. All of them are Malayali speakers from Kerala, India. The linguistic and communicative objective was to help them understand and use conditionals appropriately under the context of making different choices in life. For example, using zero conditionals when they talk about choices they make every single day. For example, the sentence, if I find something I like, I buy it. And other conditionals such as first, second, and third conditionals. So in terms of achievements of learner objectives, I think it was completely achieved. It was evidence when the students were able to figure out different functions and forms of these conditionals, along with their forms from a gap-fill activity, which was followed by a listening task where students listened to 4 different people's dialogues about their choices in their life, and then they do a gap fill activity where they have to fill the gaps with the conditionals, the structure of conditionals they listened in the audio. It was again evidenced when students were able to complete a match the form kind of activity where they have to match the functions and forms of these conditionals with the appropriate ones. I think the audio facilitated a very good context for the students to understand the meaning of these conditional sentences from what they heard from the audio. So the audio basically included all the zero, first, second, and third conditionals used in a different situations of 4 different speakers. And the communicative objective was also completely achieved. I think this was evidence when I saw the candidates fully aware, and it was very easy for them. They were able to produce the target language when they were given a group speaking activity where they talk about different choices they make in their daily lives and their regrets, their choices they could have made in the past. And so they were completely engaged, and that activity gave me some insights that the objective was completely fulfilled. The second conditional, that was a bit difficult. However, with CCQ, the concept checking questions, this issue was solved. So I would say that was a success in terms of achieving the target language without having any ambiguous situation when they learn the difference between conditionals, especially the first and second conditionals, provided they have the similar sentence in their L1. With regards to the learner strategies and motivation, I think the students were very motivated when they practiced the point of grammar they learned very enthusiastically. This was evidenced because the context of the group speaking activity was based on making sentences and explanations by personalizing what they learned and to make conversations with it. The context of the speaking activity was based on creating sentences based on what they experienced in their life, and it was completely based on personalizing the grammar point and the conditional they have learned in the lesson. Because 2 students were weak, I sometimes had to approach a pair speaking group and help them with the form and structure of the third conditional, while some students in other groups, they corrected their peers. They did the peer correction and helped the members in their groups. To practice the zero and first conditional, I formed a pair speaking activity because it seemed that to practice the zero and first conditional, it was a kind of okay and easy for them to practice. With regards to second and third conditional, I made them into groups so that there are at least one member in the group where his or she is a bit more competent than the others, so that they could help each other and correct the mistakes themselves. If any situation arises where they can't correct themselves or help each other, I would go and correct them. So that was a very interesting activity. They studied and they learned from the mistakes of each other, and so that eventually facilitated to produce the target language in a good way. So overall, the learner objective was completely achieved, and the differentiation of the task helped to achieve a good outcome for the performance of the candidates in the classroom.